Hello tennis guys, and welcome to another tennis racket comparison, and this is one that has been very highly recommended to me, and it is a highly anticipated one. So the Extreme MP 2022 against versus the Speed MP 2022. So both of these rackets are really the best selling rackets from Head. But before I get started with this comparison, I would love to thank to Hardy Antsoff. I'm not sure if I spell it correctly, so Hardy Antsoff, thank you very much for buying me not one, but 2 coffees. And Hardy wrote me this message: thanks for the in-depth reviews and quality controls. Also, keep up the good work about your thoughts and predictions of what's happening on the ATP and WTA tour. I think that's a great addition to the gear reviews content wise. So thank you very much for this, Hardy, because the predictions are most of the time really something I'm not good at, but I'm trying my best. It's also, let's say, it's a fun part for me, something that spices up a little bit the content, and it makes me happy. I'm doing it because I want to do it. I'm not doing it because there is demand for it, that people want it. No. Most of you guys, you want the rackets comparisons and other stuff, the tennis gear. But yeah, this is something I'm really enjoying also when I have the time to do it. Just it's fun. So if you don't like the predictions, I'm really sorry. You can skip the videos. If you like the predictions, there will be more predictions in the future for sure. But as I say always, and I've been saying this to some of the people who are commenting, I'm doing this as a hobby. So it's a hobby. It's not a job. It's not something I'm earning real money from. So please take into account that I'm just having fun, and I hope you have fun with the content. If you don't agree with some things, just write a nice polite comment under the video, suggest your thoughts, help the other tennis guys if they are searching for some comparison or if they are asking for something, because the comments are getting really longer, and there are more and more comments, and I'm only one guy, and I need your help from you tennis guys. So if you want to support me also, you can just support me by commenting and interacting with the other tennis guys on YouTube. And finally, if you want to have your question, you can ask me and you want the question to be answered, and to be answered in the next, let's say, video, you can buy me a coffee. You can write me a question. When you buy me a coffee, write your question. I will reply to that question. Guaranteed, it's guaranteed. So if you buy a coffee, I need to reply on it, really, because yeah, that's the deal. The kind of deal you are kind of buying also my time, and you are buying the answer for that, and it's guaranteed that I will reply to that question, and the reply will be also in some of my next videos. So that's also a way how to support me and how to interact with me in a, let's say, guaranteed way. So, and now guys, let's dive into the very fascinating comparison.
I didn't look at him after we shaken hands, so yeah, I saw after the rackets were flying, but you know, I feel the pain for him, yeah.
So guys, both of these rackets, they are the pinnacles of the MP sector of the 100 square inch head size rackets. These are the best of the best, and from my point of view, when someone asks me nowadays which of the 100-inch rackets I would buy, it will be the Extreme MP or the Speed MP. I don't really see any other option to, let's say, qualify for me. Yes, V-cores, E-zones, great rackets, but I'm a conservative guy. I like the oval head shape. I kind of a little bit always struggle with the Yonex head shape. Yes, you can get used to it very easily, but now when someone will point a gun to my head and ask me a question, which of the 100-inch head size you would buy, I would be like, oh, the Extreme MP or the Speed MP. Yeah, one of these two. So these are the best of the best and the best sellers. I believe that the Speed MP is actually the best seller for head. And then there is the Extreme, Radical, and go on because they have plenty of sticks. So now, guys, let's dive into the comparison. So both of the rackets, 645 square centimeters, 100 square inches head size. Nothing special. Weight, it's the same 300-gram racket, so it's a standard, let's say, balanced weight. It's the way that most of the people, the intermediate and also the advanced players, want to use nowadays. Balance is the same, 320 millimeters. I'm talking the unstrung balance. And now there is the swing weight. And the swing weight, if you look at the swing weight, I have there two numbers. So the first number is my number. I measure the swing weight also on my swing weight machine from Dunlop. And as you can see, it's similar. So the Extreme MP 318 and the Speed MP 317, nothing really here to compare. And when we switch to the Tennis Warehouse numbers, we can see that there is the 322 for Extreme MP and Speed has 323. So also nothing really different. So there is only the one swing weight point difference. But as I told you in some of my previous videos, I'm a little bit concerned about the numbers that are on Tennis Warehouse, because they look like they are almost always higher than the numbers I get. And is it, once again, it has something to do with the quality control? Are we receiving lower quality controlled rackets in Europe compared to the rest of the world or to the USA? I don't know, but it looks like in the USA, you are playing with a heavier or more demanding rackets with a higher swing weight, because it's almost every single time I measure a lower swing weight. But let's leave it like it is. Everyone can think, or everyone can have his own theory. Bear in mind that the Tennis Warehouse is taking like 10 rackets. They are measuring the swing weight of the 10 rackets, and then they go out with a, let's say, average number. That is the process I think they are doing. So I'm only having one racket, so there can be difference. Maybe the next second racket has a swing weight of 325. I'm not sure. Maybe it works like that. It can be definitely possible in today's world, because nothing is perfect. So now finally we are getting into some interesting comparison, the stiffness. And the stiffness, guys, for these two rackets can for some of you be the deciding point which of these two rackets you would buy. So on the left side, the Extreme MP, it's a more powerful racket. That's why it's stiffer. It's 66 RA. For my taste, that's perfect. Nothing really wrong with that stiffness. I'm a guy who played over 15-20 years with a pure drive racket. No problem with my arm whatsoever. The stiffness was like 71, 72 for that stick. So I feel like the stiffness is actually a myth, because lots of people are saying, stiff racket, don't play with a stiff racket. Well, if you are healthy, if you have good technique, if you don't struggle with your swing path, if you have healthy joints, there is no problem when you play with a stiffer frame. No problem at all. And you can always adjust the stiffness by going a little bit down with the tension, by using hybrids, by using softer polys, using multi-filaments, using natural gut, using synthetic gut, which is very soft. So there are endless options how to make a stiffer racket softer. But the 66RA is actually a medium stiffness, so very good for creating power, and also very good for the stability. That is something I really appreciate about the Extreme MP. The stability is really good. Now the speed MP is 62. So the 62RA, I would say it is soft. It is soft. You will feel that the speed MP has a little bit longer, let's say, dwell time when you hit the ball. You kind of drag the ball for a longer period of time. That's why the speed MP is a little bit more feel-oriented racket. It's a racket that gives you more control, more let's say softer connection to the ball, and that's also something that makes the racket different from the Extreme MP and other more powerful frames with stiffer frame. Because the lower the stiffness, it means you have better overall control. So even though both rackets have the same head size, the Speed MP is actually quite a lot more control oriented, and that is also something you will definitely feel when you are hitting with the racket. So Extreme MP, more free power, more direct power, maybe better stability on the volleys, on the net, and the Speed MP, better control overall, better feel, better for the touch shots, and so of course the comfort will be just a tiny bit better. When we jump into the beam width, that's a word, width. Okay, so the Extreme MP has a variable beam, so we will start with the 23 millimeters at the top, at the head. So at the tip of the head there is 23 millimeters. When we jump to the sides there is 26, and in the throat section, or in the lower section of the head through this throat section, there is only 21 millimeters. So really nice, powerful, yet I would say flexible, yet fast beam. So I like the Extreme MP because it feels really fast, although the side of the head is 26. It's thicker compared to the Speed, but the throat, the yoke, is only 21. So when you are swinging with the racket in the vertical way, because the Extreme MP is a little bit more suitable, it's a spin racket for the vertical path. So when you're swinging from down up, let's say like Rafa, so there is where the beam shines, where the 21 millimeters shines. Now the Speed MP has constant 23 millimeters. I like that also for the clean look. It looks like a proper player's racket. Just easy design, 23 millimeters constantly throughout the whole frame. Nothing really special about that. The beam is thicker, let's say, overall. Maybe at the yoke you can definitely see the 2 extra millimeters. It gives the racket enough power, it gives the racket enough precision, it gives the racket enough stability, and it just works. The racket is also fast, really fast through the air, even though it's 23 millimeters. So yeah, nice, more control oriented beam, let's say, but also with the power that comes through the thicker throat. You might be wondering why the throat is also 23, why the throat isn't 21. Also, I think it would take away the power from the racket, because the power from the speed racket is kind of created from the lower part of the racket, but for the Extreme MP the power is created more from the center of the head. And what does it again mean? The extreme power is the power comes from more of the head, so it's a power you don't control that much compared to the speed MP, because the power comes more from the throat section. It is closer to your hand, and that's why you control the power a little bit more. Yes, that's it. Now the string pattern is 16x19. We will talk about the patterns later in the technologies section. The composition 100% graphite. We know there is this graphene inside, and we can jump to the technology. So both of these rackets, these are the auxetic versions, 2022 generation, updated with the great, awesome auxetic tech that is in the lower part of the head. So only in this small part where the where the main strings are connected. So in this lower part of the head, in the throat, there is this auxetic, which adds to the racket more feel, more connection, because the auxetic makes the beam, let's say, move inside of the head. It's more flexible, and it works like a trampoline. So the more you hit the ball with more power, the bigger is the auxetic reaction. So it gives the racket also more power. It widens, or it makes the sweet spot bigger also for both of these rackets. And I need to say, I love this technology. I think it's the best tech for the head series, for the head rackets in the last, let's say, 5 years. So it's better than the 360. It's better than the 360 plus. It's kind of a mixture between 360 and 360 plus. It's sharp, it's crisp, but not too much. There is comfort in it, and I really think they nailed it with it. So for both of these rackets, auxetic and graphene, inside it's the same technology, is the graphite essentially. Now we are talking about the spin grommets and the power grommets. So the spin grommets for the Extreme MP, they are in the upper part. These are the big chunky grommets with big space. They are round shaped, also in the lower part round shaped. But the difference is at the sides of the head. There are also bigger, these grommets, but they are rectangular, I believe is the word. I struggled with the word in my previous videos about the Extreme, but I believe it's rectangular, so this shape. And it means that the string can move from side to side a little bit more, because the grommet is bigger in this shape to the sides, and that creates more power, it creates more spin, snapback effect, etc, etc. So essentially that's why it is called a spin grommet. On the other hand, the power grommets, essentially for the speed MP, these are only, let's say, only bigger grommets, round shaped bigger grommets, no rectangular shape whatsoever, just bigger grommets in the center of the head and also on the sides. Although I'm not sure if there is on the sides, if they are also bigger. Maybe they are only at the top and in the lower part. I'm not sure about that, but they are round. So the string can move, let's say, it's not restricted, it can move in all the directions, and this creates a more powerful stroke, more power from the racket. Now the spin pattern and the speed pattern. So the spin pattern for Extreme MP, the strings have bigger spaces between each other, so the space is wider, so the strings bite more into the ball, they bite more, and then they create more snapback effect. Of course, that creates more spin and also power. The speed pattern on the other side, the pattern is a little bit closer to each other, but also at some places it's wide enough to create that extra power, but it's meant to be a little bit more precise compared to the spin pattern, and it depends on the position of the strings, of the cross strings, and also of the main strings, so it can be different, and it will be different for both of these rackets just a tiny bit, but you can expect from the Speed MP more, let's say, extra power, but also more control. And I believe maybe when we talk about speed, we kind of think about that the racket is creating the speed for you, but don't think like that, or don't be misjudging the concept, because from what I know about the speeds, and I've been playing with the speeds, it was one time it was my personal racket with the older, I'm not sure what was the Graphene XT technology or something like that. I played with the pro version like 2-3 years. A great racket, but well, it was quite heavy for me. I felt the racket definitely after a 2-hour match. So don't misjudge when you see a speed pattern or a speed grommet or something like that. Speed. Think about that the speed, you create the speed for yourself compared to the, let's say, spin pattern that is on the Extreme MP that creates the speed for you just a little bit more. So when we are talking about the speed pattern for the Speed MP, it actually gives you the opportunity to hit the ball harder and to maintain or to create the speed and to create also control. So just think about it like this, okay? It's not a power pattern, let's say. We can see the power grommets, but the speed pattern does mean that you can play faster with the racket and still maintain the really good precision of the strokes. Now, the shaft. So the spin shaft for the Extreme MP, it is reinforced in the lower part. When we compare the two rackets, it is reinforced right here to maintain the better torsional stability, and I think it really works. I'm not sure why this is called a spin shaft, but probably because it is a little bit stiffer, it also creates more spin. But for my taste, it works best with the volleys and the let's say smashes and serve. It really makes the strokes very stable, and I like that. Compared to the speed beam, you can see that at the bottom the space is more, let's say, cut out. It's not that reinforced. There is more space between the frame, inside the frame, and this should create a more aerodynamic feel, because there is nothing that blocks the air, or there is a less material that blocks the air. So when you swing through the air, the racket will be a little bit faster. And last, sound grommets and the directional drilling, completely two different technologies. So the sound grommets for the Extreme MP, they just create a bigger pop, So when you play with the racket, it sounds like a wooden stick. So there is this wooden sound when you hit the ball. So the sound is more emphasized. It's boosted up a little bit. And on the other hand, the Speed MP has a directional drilling. It's a completely different technology. It's something else. It has something to do with the grommets, with the drilling, how the holes for the grommets are drilled. I believe in this situation they are drilled in a more direct way. There is not that big angle for the holes like this coming from the sides, especially from the lower part. They are just drilled in a more direct way. That's why it's called directional drilling. So they are more direct. So the strings, there is not that high pressure put on the string. So if you look at the main string, and the main string goes through the grommets on the bottom of the head. So when you drill the hole like this, then there is less stress to the string, because it is when the string is bending, then it is bending in a more, let's say, easier way. But when you have the hole drilled like this, then the stress on the string is higher, because it needs to then go in a higher angle, let's say, and that can compromise the feel. It can compromise the power. So I believe that the directional drilling for the speed rackets is there to emphasize the feel, to help the ball stay longer on the strings, because then the strings can bend easier, in a more easier way. And also I believe that this technology can help to maintain the string tension just a little bit better, and also to provide a better control overall. And it is just a logical thing and a logical process I'm thinking of. So guys, there you have it. So these rackets are quite different. So the specs are very, very close. There is only the difference in the stiffness and the beam, let's say, and then the technologies are a little bit different. There is difference in the shape of the frame, but definitely you will notice the difference between the Extreme MP being a more powerful, more spin friendly oriented racket with a bigger sweet spot, with just a little bit easier approach to tennis. It will be great for the baseliner who spends most of the time behind the line, maybe more or far away from the baseline, compared to the Speed MP that is suitable for all-around player that is playing like 50% is stepping into the court, 50% is playing behind the baseline, who wants to control the pace more, who wants to be more precise with the shots, and who wants to be more let's say a playful type of player. So just look at Novak, how he plays, how he changes the pace, how he waits for the points, how he creates the angles, and you get sense of how you can play with the Speed MP. So from these two rackets, if you ask me which of the rackets I would prefer, well, it's hard, guys. It's really hard. I love the Extreme MP. It's probably the best racket I've hit with this year, or at least my feel for the racket and my love for the racket is really high. I also play with the Speed MP. It was also fantastic, but maybe also at my age, I'm 38, and I'm just starting feeling that I need some extra tiny more support from the racket, and that's why I maybe prefer a little bit more the Extreme MP. So if you had asked me like 3, 4, 5 years ago when I was 33 or 32, I would probably choose the Speed MP. but now the Extreme MP is a little bit more easier playing racket, and that's why I like it just as tiny, guys, but tiny, like this, tiny bit more. But who knows? It just depends on how you feel on the court. And if you are not sure which of these two rackets to buy, just look at how you play, what you want to play, where you want to go, what do you want to achieve on the court, what is your style. Don't change your style based on the racket. Just buy a racket that suits your style, that emphasizes your style, that emphasizes your strength, and that's it. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you like this very interesting comparison. Both of these rackets are great. It doesn't really matter which one you buy, just decide for yourself. Maybe for some people there will be a decision between the colors, so maybe you don't like the Extreme MP Avocado, maybe you like the black and white. It's more clean, it looks like more like a player's racket, and the Extreme MP looks more like a toy maybe, but it plays great. So guys, thank you very much for watching. So if you like the video, click the thumbs up, comment, share. You can support me by buying me a coffee, by clicking the support button or the super thanks, and by buying some merch. And all the links are below in the description. And guys, that's all for now. This is one of the last videos in this year, in the 2022. So if it will be the last, so guys, I thank you highly for your support, and enjoy Christmas. Spend it with your loved ones, with your family, and don't forget to play some tennis also during the holiday. I think it will be a great time to spend it with your friends, playing some doubles, some fun tournaments, maybe small tournaments, and yeah, that's it. So guys, thanks for watching. Enjoy tennis, play tennis every time, every day, and don't forget to enjoy the manooovrlbity. Bye guys.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious. That ball was on the line.